Hello and welcome to our podcast today, Whole Nutrition. I am Anas Santisi and I am a functional medicine practitioner. I am on the board of Functional Medicine University and a chef, and then I love food, and the purpose to do this podcast is to share awareness about health and wellness and then help people to balance their body naturally. And we have today with me a co-host, Lori Varas, my partner, and please.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm glad to be co-hosting our whole nutrition podcast, and I'm thrilled to have Cathy today. I am a co-founder of Holistic Nutrition. I have been working with all of our coaches.
Great coach.
So I am, I feel honored and happy to be here today. And one of our topics that really interests me, and I think will interest a lot of our listeners, is functional health and autoimmunity.
And nutrition and toxicity. It's why we have here an expert with us, Cathy Bedel. She's a wonderful coach, and then she done our program, and then she is a colleague. She worked with us as a coach, as a holistic nutrition, and then we want you to talk about your experience and how everything fits in your lifestyle.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me, guys.
Pleasure to have you.
I'm very passionate about talking about autoimmune disease. It's been a lifetime of working with my body and my health to try to figure things out for myself. Started at the age of 5 with rheumatoid arthritis. So as a little kid, dealing with inflammation and just the struggles that go along with that. And then also, as I progressed into adulthood, that autoimmunity kicked up a notch and turned into systemic lupus. And that, when it flared the first time, I almost lost my life to it. So very, very passionate to help people identify these issues before they get to that point, because when you're in a crisis mode, so many things can go wrong. And so I want to help people nip things in the bud, or if, they're on a protocol, try to dig in and see if there are some things that we can identify to lessen that toxic burden. Because ultimately, with autoimmune disease is looking at what is on that burden. Your body can handle a lot. God made our bodies incredible.
Absolutely. It's like the homeostasis.
Exactly. So making it so that, we can detoxify.
Absolutely.
And he's given us all of the things that we need in creation. So our food and the plants, they are our first medicines. And so as I've discovered that, it's just been a huge burden lifted off of my shoulders, because I felt beholden to the modern medicine community and beholden to the pharmaceutical companies, and feeling like I was kind of trapped in that. And so I want to give people hope.
Absolutely. There is hope always. And this connection between the mind and the body, it's always when we mention God and the spirituality and then all these good things, it's everything start with the thought, how you want to be.
Precisely.
Absolutely. Thought, how you think, it's like a seed.
Exactly.
If you think about yourself positive, all this positivity will grow and then shine in your body.
Absolutely.
And then it's more attracting the same thinking.
Right.
When you think that, there is no hope, and then I am stuck with the disease, and then kind of people just dig their hole to, worse, right?
Exactly.
That's why I love this word, that what you said, hope, right?
Yeah. I'd love for Cathy to share how we met and how things have changed and improved for you over the last year, because it's been a wonderful journey to see you go through another motherhood step and still even improve your health.
Right. So, Lori and I have known each other for several years now. We met as we were networking, and we're both advocates in the health field. And so we had a lot in common, and as I kind of pulled out of networking because I found I was pregnant with my third child. And
which is awesome.
Over the age of 40.
That's great.
It's
Congratulations.
kind of crazy, but
she's very cute.
She's such a beautiful blessing. So I encourage people to always, be open to what the Lord has in store for them because it's quite incredible.
Hey, I was over 42, honey, so I was thrilled for you.
Isn't it?
Wow.
So it's been a blessing. But needless to say, Lori called me up and she wanted me to know what was going on in her life and that she had met on Austin TC and that he had this program that he was trying to kick off. And I said, you know what? This sounds like exactly the direction I want to go. The prior year, I had just completed my Doctor of Naturopathy with Trinity Natural School of Health, and I was just thinking I wanted to start seeing clients when I found out I was pregnant. So I was kind of in a back burner mode, but Lori said, hey, give this a try, and so I did, and it was wonderful because when I went through the program, there was a questionnaire, and this questionnaire was everything that I would ask as a naturopath. We want to know everything. And so by looking at the whole health history, your symptoms, what you've done so far, because at that point, 10 years into natural health, I had tried a lot of things and I had made a lot of progress. But as you know, in natural health, we're always peeling back the layers of the onion, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then also as much you know about your client, basically they will tell you what's wrong and then what their solution they are. So as much you spend more time with them and then in their digging in their history and then understanding their lifestyle.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to help them quicker.
Right.
And then this is what we created in a functional medicine university. So proud to be a part of it. A lot of talented doctors, medical, holistic. It's a wonderful group. Yes. So I was searching to what's the right thing to do, how I can help myself. And I was just looking for too many things in the market. So I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, hoping that I will get a pathology, so the cause of the disease. But it was a good experience to understand, the spirituality of the primary food. So food, it's not only what we eat, food also the thought, the love, the compassion, and then all that, it actually works. But when you come to a body, how you diagnose the body, how you understand, yes, we need technology. And Functional Medicine University offered a lot of hours, over 260-hour credit for, the education and then understand what is functional medicine and what you can offer to your client to help them very quick, including this, questionnaire, which we do FM Logic, and you have very good, understanding about this questionnaire.
This is what Cathy was referring to when we asked her to take our questionnaire, and honestly, it starts right from birth and all the way through birth, through even the first 10 years, obviously we got to learn
Dental.
about Cathy's. Yeah, so you go through every life stage and where you lived, what you were exposed to, what immunizations you had, what medicines you were taking, how many times have you had antibiotics, were you born C-section? And then, yes, the dental.
Foods, what you eat.
Yes.
And then the dental, what I like.
The dental is very, very fascinating.
Every teeth, it has a meridian with an organ or joint or a system.
Yeah.
So it gives us a lot. And then also the mercury thing. So people, they are flooded with mercury toxicity, which you mentioned, and then they don't know it. And they do the regular blood test, like a serum test, and then they find out everything is good. But when you go to a red blood cell and then you see the elements, then when you see your deficiencies and then your toxicities. And then this is why, dental is very important, because people, they used to have amalgam with mercury. And that was a old fashion, and people got so sick. And then you have probably hundreds of customers that they are dealing with this issue, Miss Lori.
Okay, so Cathy and I have been working with a client on Mercury, since you brought that up. And this client, it was criminal. She had a dentist who filled every tooth in her head with mercury. And apparently he's since gone to jail. So it was fraudulent, and he did this to a number of patients. And we're now dealing with the aftermath of her body being totally flooded. And it's so sad. She's young. And Cathy, you want to speak a bit to that? Because you and I have been working, but you've been really dealing more with her.
Yeah, and when a person gets to that point where, maybe mercury is the base and the root cause, it's a delicate situation, because you do have to put out the fires that have been caused by that issue first before you can address it. Because if you disturb mercury in the midst of a healing crisis, you could make things very, very bad for your client. So it's something that, I caution people on when they say, I've got some amalgam fillings I want removed. I encourage them to make sure they're working with a trusted health coach and advisor. And I think, we've got plenty on board here with us that holistic nutrition can offer that counsel if need be. So I was fortunate to have that opportunity. I've had 4 or 5 of them removed at this point, and now I'm completely amalgam free. And having them removed was very key in dealing with my joint inflammation. So my inflammation levels were reduced probably 85 to 90% once I was able to detoxify from that. So that was my first symptom. If you remember, I said juvenile rheumatoid arthritis as a child. And it was not long after I'd had a round of vaccinations, which at the time likely had some mercury component, as well as I had some teeth work done right at that, going to kindergarten, first grade age. So, to see that link and the potential behind that, and, potential, we can talk about genetic weaknesses as well. Everyone's built differently, and that will also play a part in your client's healing journey too. So
this is what we do.
Yeah, so really, Cathy has come so far. I'm so proud of where you've come from. And, Cathy has a tremendous webinar, and she actually puts her story out there. You can see it and hear it with her presentation, and she talks about the improvements that she's made since joining us. But, her whole life has been focused on improving your health. So, Cathy, can you just go back a little bit? Like, we started to work together in this capacity about a year ago.
Right.
And you had just had Claire. I knew you, of course, when you were pregnant with Claire, but...
Yeah, I had just had the baby, and I was still nursing when Lori came to me, and she said, hey, do you want to check this out and try this protocol? And I said, there's only so much I'd be willing to do nursing. I don't want to detoxify too much while I've got this baby. And so she said, Cathy, let's just give it a try. This is going to be food-based. You're going to love it.
Food.
And so I said,
a lot of people, they get scared about when they hear toxicity or detox. Detox is just an elimination.
Exactly.
Get rid of bad things.
Right. And so I was just thrilled with the base protocol and how the focus was really on nutrition and cleaning up the diet and focusing on those really dense nutrition foods, your greens and all of those things that, you think you might be doing a good job. I know I'm a naturopath, but really stepping back and looking at what am I putting in my mouth all day long, and how is that affecting my metabolism? How is that affecting my liver? And looking at it from a food as medicine perspective, instead of like, I'm hungry, let's feed this body,
Back to your old comfort foods. But
right.
So just to sort of put a little perspective on this, when Cathy came to check out what we were doing, she first she did the questionnaire that we talked about, and then she went to do some blood work, and which was very enlightening. We did the blood work, and then you can talk through it, Cathy, but we also did food sensitivity testing, and then we actually did a GI map. So,
Right.
Cathy's been through a wonderful investigative
Absolutely. About a
process,
year.
which is really what we are known for and how we practice. So
Do recommend it to everyone.
we do.
Right.
So do you want to just talk a bit
Sure.
about going through the process? Because if you go through the process, then you can coach others. If you don't
Right.
go through the process, you don't understand truly how to really dig down and be a good detective is the word we use.
Absolutely. So, I looked at kind of the detox period as the intense, let's ramp this up, get quick results, and I certainly did. I made a lot of progress. And after that point, I was still struggling with a few things. I said that, when I did my follow-up questionnaire, I had 25% to 50% improvement. Well, that means I had like 75% and 50% improvement that I still needed to obtain. So, looking at, okay, the changes that I've made, where could I be stuck? And so the logical step was maybe to look at food sensitivities. And so when I discovered that some of the foods that I was eating that are healthy foods were potentially causing me inflammation and autoimmune responses, I needed to back off on things, and they were, everyone's going to be different. And that's the beauty of functional medicine.
That's
is
right.
that it's tailored to the individual and where you're at and what's your body's going through.
And then
So-
this is the food inflammation test.
Exactly.
And it's not a IgA or IgE, those antibodies that we test for. It's a DNA, right? And we see the DNA of IgG 1 to 4 reactions. And everybody different, you're right. Mine was salmon, berries. I was suffering for digestive issues. So food that become not good for the bio individual, those they are the food that they are not digesting, basically
Right.
staying in there,
Right.
and they are good food. Who doesn't like salmon? Who
Right.
doesn't like berries? Who doesn't like coffee? I have people with different, everybody different,
Yeah.
and then like what you said, this
know.
is the beauty of functional medicine, and this is what the column stone of how it's built. You check the sensitivities, we check the endocrinology, we check nutrition depletion, nutrition deficiencies, toxicity.
Right.
So the toxicity, it's a RBC test, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you can see not only mercury, you can see your ferritin, your iron storage, you can see lots of the whole elements, right?
Right.
We can, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cathy, talk a little bit, how valuable I believe it to be valuable, and I think you do too, not putting words in your mouth, but the GI map.
Oh, yeah.
that's-
So, yes.
Oh my God.
So the logical next step. So you're through the food inflammation test, you're identifying those foods that you may be struggling with. And for me, things like beef came up.
I know.
And I eat clean beef. I shouldn't have been because it was bad beef or anything like that. And I was like, what's going on? And so looking at a GI map, the stool sample, so we got a lot of information from that. We got to
Yes.
see all kinds of
Pathogens,
Yes.
viruses,
Yes.
good bacteria, bad bacteria,
Absolutely.
pathogens, everything. It's like the whole autoimmune. And then
Right.
this is where I love to see the autoimmune. The autoimmune, it's located, in my point of view as practitioner, it's in a flora.
Right.
I think, because a lot of people, they will say, hey, I have high IgA, I have an autoimmune problem. But when you see the problem is this war happening inside the flora in the gut. So good bacteria fighting with bad bacteria, and then you have a viruses, and then those bacteria will bundle those viruses and then make them big, and then it's kind of an army who's going to win the war, right?
Exactly.
So if you don't have a diversity of bacteria, basically your autoimmune it's low, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's not an easy task. So, we're talking at this point about 9 months into the program is when I started to really dig into the GI map and the results I got from it, and, dealing with how am I going to put this back into balance. And
This is a patient.
It's been slow, but it's getting there, and it's amazing how much better in a month and a half's time I'm feeling by addressing what I know is going on instead of just guessing. There's a lot of guessing you can do, and there's a lot of things you can do to help someone at a general level, but to have the tools that holistic nutrition offers, they hone in on the detail. So we don't spend a lot of time running around chasing our tail,
Absolutely.
We can focus.
Before any test the DNA test came, we used to spend a 6 to 1 year just to understand what does bio-individual need to eliminate. So we'll give them the list of the food, they go and then they got it, and then they have the chart every day. They will say, I have bloating in here, I have, okay, well, it's, now with the technology, everything, it's quick.
So much quicker.
So much quicker. But we need also to be patient because people, they don't get sick overnight.
Look at Cathy. I mean, her first diagnosis was at age 5. So she has a whole lifetime. Of healing. And where she is now from, it's thrilling.
This is why we do that, to give the people the awareness that, hey, when you get sick, your body work for you, your homeostasis work for you for many years. You wake up tired because your body fighting for you. You have breakage in your skin because you are eating something it's wrong. You have depression because you're thinking it's not positive. And then you accumulate all that because, you want everything to happen fast. And then this is why people go to a MD doctor, because if really the medication, it works for people that they need it. So people with diabetes or with any kind of symptoms, actually they help. Because if the people, they don't want to get back to, the holistic way, they will just take medication and then the life going.
Well, it works as a Band-Aid for the symptom. It doesn't cure it. So Cathy's been working on the cure.
Well, and that's where really my journey started, was when I hit a brick wall with traditional medicine, because I was willing to do what they were asking me to do, but I got to a point where what they had for me wasn't working, and the next step of pharmaceutical wasn't something I was willing to do. We were talking about a chemotherapy type drug, and I really,
it's
in my heart, decided that it wasn't the right, at least not until I had ruled out natural. And so that really was the kickstart into all of the things that I've learned.
Everything coming for this modern technology and with scientific approval, I think is emphasizing how natural way it's the right way.
Well, you would like to heal your gut. I mean, if you had a choice, you'd like to heal the cause of the problem.
Absolutely.
And then your quality of life would improve dramatically, and it affects your entire family and your entire community, and you can get out and help others.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, I think we have just, it's been a joy to watch you, Cathy, and see you go through the program, to see you use our tools in such a way. And after having gone to school yourself, I mean, it kind of has all come together.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, just to maybe, I don't mean to change the subject, but the fact that the platform is an available platform online, that we don't have to travel. I know I worked about 5 years ago with a functional medicine doctor, and I had to travel about 40 miles to go see her. And, the cost was much more, probably 3 to 4 times the cost.
Today.
And so I'm looking at what we have available for people, and, it makes it accessible. It's accessible for people to get to coaches that know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. This is the purpose of how we came together
It
to help, the cost, and then help functional medicine to be available for everyone. Because you're right, long time ago, I remember 3-4 years ago, yes, you have to spend a lot of money. There are not too many of doctors that they are, giving a shot to this approach. And then now I see a lot of MD doctors, nurses, all that, because probably the healthcare, it's not feeding how people should be in health in general.
Yeah, like the whole mindset. There's several people that are now more aware. First of all, it's an awareness. And second of all, there's still a number of places where you go to get healed. It's emergency services, really, emergency medical. And the food that is served to a healing patient is
well, yeah,
not even there. So we have a ways to go. But I know we're running out of time today, and I've been so thrilled.
And then we have a lot of things to help, the system, and then the whole healthcare.
Yeah.
Because I really do believe that they can work together. And then this is why functional medicine comes to the place.
Yeah.
Because, you are more a homeopath, and you have, the tools. And then, like what you said, you gas, and then probably this will help, an MD doctor, he will give you only some medication. But functional medicine, if we want to give the definition, the right definition, is to approach both biochemistry and physiology. So if you need medication, absolutely. A lot of time, people, they need antibiotics. People, they need, chemotherapy. They need wherever. And then I love, the technology, how it's going. What I don't agree with is to just be like, this is it.
Sure. Use it all. Use everything that is at our disposal.
Absolutely.
And work through the process.
Functional medicine, you use holistic way, and then you go to your doctor, you work your program, and then you go back to your MD doctor. And then we don't let anybody of our client to just cut medication.
No.
Even they have all the side effect, all that stuff, but they need to keep, seeing their physician and seeing their coach in the same time. And this is how I love healthcare to be in the world, actually, because, you work on yourself, you go back to your practitioner, your physician, and then he'll decide, okay, I ran your blood chemistry analysis, and then probably you don't need this cholesterol pill or high blood pressure pill, or because you change your lifestyle and then you don't need it anymore. And then this is the challenges. And then I urge everybody to try this approach, and then go and then schedule a 30-minute free consultation with our health coaches and talented healers. So always we start with ourselves, and then this is why we are not just guessing.
Right.
We have a system together, from a health questionnaire to a blood chemistry analysis to a food inflammation test to a GI map, and sky is a limit. We work with Avixia Diagnostics. We have our team, talented, great clinician. They provide us with a function health report, and then a botanicals. So our practice, it's legitimate, and it has both.
Oh, yes.
And I totally agree. I mean, just to reiterate, the patient needs they are in control of their own life, and it's up to the person to decide who's going to be on their health team, who is going to be advocating for them and their health. And that takes, sometimes it's a medical doctor and a specialist and someone from the holistic community, and maybe there's a few other people, chiropractic and acupuncture and you name it, homeopathy. There's just, the sky is the limit. And the more people you can get on your team that's rooting for you, the quicker you're going to gain that next level of health and just keep on going. And that's, I just love it.
This is the blessing, and there is nothing better and precious like our health. You can say the last thing. Thank you for being here. And then register, rate, like, review. We love the reviews.
Perfect.
So if you like what you hear, register and review, and then subscribe to a major podcast there is. And then we have also YouTube. Thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank you.
And please come back. We would love to have you more and again. And then tell us about a story with a client. If you have
she has lots of case. Yeah, she has lots of case studies. So we'll line something up for next time.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Bye.